Hi, everybody. Hank Winchester, Help Me Hank. We thank you for spending some time with us here on Local 4 Plus. Today, we're going to be going through some recent stories that we've been taking on, problems, consumer issues, and also potential scams that have been affecting people all over Metro Detroit. We're going to begin today talking about a solicitation scam. Got a lot of emails from people in Northwest Detroit. People were concerned about different men and women making their way to their doors late at night, saying that they were representing AT&T, offering them a great deal on cable and internet and asking to come inside their homes. As you can imagine, that raised some red flags and concern for many people living in that area. Take a look at our report.
Being a senior, I didn't like it.
What Betty didn't like? A late night knock on the door. Somebody saying they're representing a cable and internet company, asking her to come inside.
We're single women around here trying to keep up our property, live our best lives, and we don't want to be put in harm's way.
We hear about these solicitation scams and they start booming as the weather warms up. People in this Northwest Detroit neighborhood concerned about the knocks they recently received. This woman who asked us to conceal her identity says she felt uncomfortable being approached by a man in her driveway offering her a deal.
This is a good neighborhood and everything, but it's real sketchy around here, after hours, so we're just trying to keep it safe.
Here are a few things I want you to remember that could help keep you safe. Number one, if somebody shows up at your door unannounced, remember, you don't have to even answer the door. Also, make sure that you ask for their identification, a photo ID. Learn about what company they say they're representing. Take a moment. If you want to, call the company directly. Find out if they have people soliciting it in your area right now. And most importantly, if you feel threatened or unsafe, call police right away. And the Better Business Bureau getting reports of people saying they've received a text message about an order confirmation for a cell phone or for cable service. Be very cautious on clicking those links.
Never, ever, ever click on it, period, because almost 9 times out of 10, it's not real.
I should tell you, we did follow up with AT&T, and while the company said that they do employ sales representatives to make their way through neighborhoods, they also make sure that those employees always carry photo ID when they're going door to door and represent themselves accordingly. Here's the statement. Like many companies, from time to time, we will use teams to share our best offers directly with customers in a neighborhood. It goes on to read, teams selling on our behalf are clearly identifiable in AT&T branded clothing and have clearly visible identification. Our sales teams will not request access inside a home. That statement from AT&T. Of course, if you find yourself in that situation, if you're uncomfortable, number one, don't let people into your home. And number two, feel free to contact police so they can track what's happening within your neighborhood. Another story that came to us through the Help Me Hank tip line involved a mystery hole on the east side of Detroit, a hole in a Detroiter's yard that had been growing deeper just as the mystery itself had continued to grow. We'd been working with DWSD and DTE trying to get to the bottom of it, literally, and most importantly, get that hole filled once and for all. Take a look at our report. The hole right here, annoying, a nuisance, also a safety concern. How would you like this in your yard? It has been here for almost 2 years, but now, help, finally on the way. How long has this been like this?
3 years.
3?
3 years.
Oh my gosh, annoying.
Extremely annoying.
But also a safety hazard.
A safety hazard.
So
that's what I was concerned about.
Carmen Ramirez has been dealing with this problem for far too long. And this hole, which at one point was actually hidden, injured her husband.
Well, he was raking leaves here.
Your husband was?
Yes,
Yeah.
and he fell all the way down in that hole up to his hip. And so that's when we were alerted that it was even there.
You didn't know the hole was there?
We didn't know it was there until he...
And he went down.
And he went down.
The mystery surrounding the hole growing deeper by the day. DTE, DWSD, who exactly is responsible? A spokesperson for DWSD saying yesterday our field team at DWSD went out to investigate and confirmed that we have no assets near the hole. Our team has since made the area safe. So you were calling DTE, you were calling DWSD, you were calling anybody that you'd seen out here at some point.
Yes.
And you just couldn't really seem to get an answer.
I could not.
Then today, the team from DTE rolling in full force. The crew's out here today in Detroit filling in this hole that had been such a big problem for so many years. You feeling better now?
I feel better.
Good.
I feel better.
Yeah,
yes,
good.
yes. So
That's
that's my main goal. I appreciate you jumping in and taking care of it. I watch you on Channel 4 all the time.
We got taken care of.
Yes.
All right.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right. That was the goal there, taking care of that problem once and for all. There still remains, even a few days later, some confusion as to whether that hole was a result of work that was done by DWSD or DTE. DTE telling us that they are confident it did not involve any of their crews. They also were able to pull reports from Miss Digg that showed that DWSD had done work there about 18 months ago, which may have resulted in that hole forming in the yard. Again, the bottom line, the most important thing, we appreciate the efforts by both utilities and the work done by the crew there from DTE that was on site to fill that hole once and for all. Another story that came to us from a viewer, a 95-year-old viewer named Beulah. She reached out to me because she felt like she had been ripped off by landscapers. This happens a lot, unfortunately, this time of year. People fall prey to landscaping scams, whether they're a flyer that you get in the door or just somebody who shows up at your front door offering to do some help. Take a look at her story, and then we'll chat a little bit about more about what you can do to make sure that you remain safe from these scams. Take a look.
I'm very upset about it.
Miss Beulah sent me this message to the Help Me Hank tip line early this morning.
I'm an old lady. I live alone. I'm 95 years old. He won't call or anything.
How much money did you give this man?
$1,000.
$1,000.
Yes.
And you're certainly not happy with the work that was done.
And he didn't even do half what he was supposed to do.
Miss Beulah paid a husband and wife landscaping team $1,000 cash to mulch, trim, get her home that she loves here in Redford all spiffed up for spring. It looks awful.
Now you won't even answer your phone.
I wanted to bring you around to the backyard and take a look. Does this look like $1,000 worth of landscaping that was done? There's not even mulch in these beds. And take a look at the mess that was left out there by the curb. So I made my way here to the landscaper's house and take a look. It looks like the landscaper needs a little landscaping TLC themselves. Here's the deal. They wouldn't answer the door, but we had a conversation via the Ring doorbell. She paid you $1,000. There's not even mulch in half of the beds in the yard.
Yes, it's gonna get done.
And it's gonna get done today.
Yes.
The good news, the landscapers agreed to return a portion of the money and sent me this video as they dropped the cash.
Putting it in her mailbox. Right there. And I am done. I will not be coming back to do any more work.
The good news there, like that last story, is that the problem was resolved. The money now back in her account. What we learned from this situation, unfortunately, is that there have been reports of this couple scamming people within the area. Police are now involved in this in Redford. But we hear about this oftentimes this time of year, especially as the weather's starting to warm up, whether you get a notice about somebody who can just throw some wood chips in the yard or whether it's a lawn care company. Most important thing you can do is check their references, call the state, make sure they're licensed, and also try to avoid paying up front in cash. If you can, just give a deposit, and if you have the ability to make payments using a credit card, do that. It does offer you more protection. Illegal dumping has been a huge problem in the city of Detroit for years, unfortunately, especially in one neighborhood just off of I-75 near 8 Mile. They've had problems like this going on for many, many years, and we've been working with the city of Detroit to not only catch those responsible, but also, more importantly, work to clean up those neighborhoods.
This is our property, yet you come over here and on our, in our neighborhood and dump stuff. Well, it doesn't really look good because it looks like somebody here is doing it in our community, but it's really not.
Dorian Searcy tells me that he has had enough with the illegal dumpers in his neighborhood. Spring weather, nice days, the dumpers are out big time.
We've seen trucks that have come up And that lot back there that you saw, they were just dumping stuff.
Just a few miles away, dumpers making their way into this West Side neighborhood. And people tell me they are fed up.
I called and he said like they were coming out. I call Advance America or whoever we got. And they said, oh, we'll send them out there. Never came.
What you may not know is that if you are busted dumping illegally, you could face serious penalties. If you have bulk items and trash too big to fit on the curb that need to be dumped, you can dump them off for free. These are 3 different locations throughout the city where you can bring these items from now through the month of October. Just show up, leave your trash, and go. Some information I want to share with you regarding the penalties for illegally dumping within the city of Detroit. You're not only talking about tickets and fines up to about $10,000, significant fines, especially if you are dumping hazardous waste, but your business license could also be revoked. We saw that happen during the Green Ooze investigation with the warehouse that was kept not only here in Detroit, but also in Madison Heights. And remember, you could also face jail time if what you are dumping is causing environmental issues or impacting a neighborhood greatly. There is the possibility that you could face prosecution. If you need to dump legally, we have all the information for you on our website, clickondetroit.com, where you can bring items that are just too large to put on the curb. And if you are an illegal dumper, understand that there are those severe penalties that you could face if you are in fact caught. And there are teams out there on the streets looking for illegal dumpers, as well as high definition cameras, in many areas that have had problems over the years. Another problem that we've worked to expose, that is lottery scams. We hear about them all the time. And I got a call from a man who thought he had struck it rich, but there was an odd twist. In order to get his lottery winnings, he himself would have to cash a check into his own account and then pay some of the money back. They said it was a handling fee. Understand that is a huge red flag, and that's exactly why this man called me, because he wanted to warn all of you. This is a copy of the letter sent to the Eubanks family in Detroit. It appears to be from Publishers Clearinghouse, and it appears that this family has struck it rich. You get this letter, it says you won $750,000. That's got to be exciting.
You're right.
For a second.
Yeah. Well, I went and I told her, oh, God, we can get done what we want to do, you know. And I says, well, wait, something's wrong. This
Something
don't look
doesn't
right.
add up. But in order for them to win the big prize, $750,000, they must first deposit this check to cover the taxes at their bank. It is a huge scam.
There's something wrong here. So she got on the phone. She called Publisher Clearinghouse. We were on there about an hour with them. They finally come back and said, well, Mrs. Eubanks, we hate to tell you, but that's a fraud claim.
Once the Eubanks family got in touch with the real Publishers Clearinghouse, they learned that not only are they being targeted, but so are thousands of other people right now.
They said that this is a scam, and we're not the first ones that they've got this with.
These lottery scams are nothing new, and they are booming right now. One victim I will never forget, Kathleen in Troy, who last year lost more than $600,000 in a Publishers Clearinghouse scam.
What has this done to you?
It's devastated me. Are you kidding me?
So if you get a letter like this one saying you've won it big, be skeptical. And also remember, you never have to spend money or deposit a check in order to claim a big prize. You don't have to pay cash out in order to get those big winnings. That is a huge red flag. And that woman that you heard from there towards the end of the story, Kathleen in Troy, I will never forget, because she had been taking money from her accounts. Her husband was not even aware that she was taking this money out of her accounts to pay these lottery thieves. Lottery scams have been booming. Last year alone, almost $1 billion lost because of these high-tech thieves and how they work, especially to prey on seniors and those in underserved communities, making you think that you've struck it rich, when in fact, unfortunately, you are just being targeted in an elaborate scam. I have much more information regarding many of these stories and all the rescues that we do here on Local 4. You can find all that information as well as how to contact me directly right at clickondetroit.com. Thanks for spending some time with us today on Local 4 Plus. I hope you have a great day.